Welcome to Ifa Stories, where ancient wisdom meets modern storytelling. Step into the sacred world of Ifa, the Yoruba spiritual system, where every tale carries the power of divination, destiny, and deep cultural insight. Join us as we unravel the mysteries of the Orishas, the divine forces guiding our paths, Orunmila, the Erenmols, and many more. Each story is a bridge between the past and the present, weaving timeless lessons that inspire, enlighten, and transform. Embrace the wisdom, honor the tradition, and journey with us into the heart of Ifa. Subscribe now and let the stories guide you. He performed divination for the boa. After creating the different species of the snake family, God distributed weapons to each of them in the form of venom. But he forgot to give any to the boa, which is called oka in Yoruba and aru in Bini. The boa began to go hungry because she lacked the weapons needed to obtain food. So she went to consult Ogunda Meyi for divination to find out what she should do to overcome her difficulties. Flecha, arrow, was one of the substitute priests living with Ogunda Meyi, and it was Flecha who performed the divination for the boa. His full name was Òkòfì Dòò, ko reyin yabo, oloko odafa fun ka, elewu obobo, which means, the arrow with which the boa kills an animal returns to her stomach. The boa was described as the velvet-skinned reptile. The awo, priest, advised her to make a sacrifice with 3 small arrows, obi, kola nuts, and a hen. She brought the materials the next day, and the awo used the hen to serve Ifa in her name. With the hen's blood, some leaves, and ayarusun, the awo prepared a medicinal potion for her to swallow. She was also advised to go with the kola nuts and use them to serve her head, ori, beside a road. She was to leave the bundle of kola nuts in a visible place and hide in a nearby bush to wait for someone who would try to steal the nuts. She was told to hold the 3 arrows and warned about the danger of having an uncontrollable character, which explains why the boa remains the most patient of snakes to this day. That same day happened to be when God was to participate in a meeting of the Orisha, which traditionally began with the breaking of kola nuts. God had forgotten to take some kola nuts when leaving home. He was accompanied by his favorite servant, the rabbit, who carried his divine bag, akopamoynijakun or agbaboko. When God saw the bundle on the path, he told the rabbit to pick it up. He was relieved to find that it contained kola nuts, the very thing he had forgotten at home. As they were placing the kola nuts in the divine bag, the boa emerged from her hiding place and asked why God should take her food too. After forgetting to give her any venom, she complained that she had gone hungry because she lacked weapons to fight for her food. Immediately, God took pity on her and explained that he had not forgotten her. He ordered the rabbit to take out anything left in the divine bag, and the rabbit pulled out an as, spiritual power or command. The boa explained that Orunmila had prepared 3 arrows for her. God took them in his hands and blessed them. After blessing them, he told the boa to open her mouth and swallow them. He then told her that whenever she saw a victim, the arrows would automatically emerge from her nostrils and that she should shoot them at the victim. She was not to chase the victim, but wait in her place until the prey returned to her. Then she should swallow it, and the arrows would return to her stomach to be used again. Before leaving the boa, God introduced the rabbit to her and warned her never to use her weapons against him. When God arrived at the gathering, he realized they had forgotten the divine bag at the place where he had given the weapons to the boa. God was hesitant to send the rabbit back to retrieve the bag, fearing the hungry boa might be tempted to use her newly acquired weapons on him. But the rabbit assured God he would act with caution and collect the bag without provoking her. When the rabbit got there, however, he began to provoke the boa. He accused her of being lazy for always staying in one place when she was supposed to be moving around in search of food. The rabbit tormented her so much that he even began pulling her tail, something the boa never tolerates. Overcome by anger, the arrows in her stomach moved to her nostrils, and she fired them, hitting the rabbit. The rabbit quickly grabbed the divine bag and rushed back to God. When he arrived, he told God that he had been attacked by the boa. God told him that he had likely provoked her anger and ordered that, according to his own words, he, the rabbit, must return to the boa and die. The rabbit painfully crawled back to the boa and died as soon as he arrived. The boa swallowed him. This incident confirmed to the boa that the weapon God had given her was truly effective. She became very pleased. At the end of the meeting, God himself had to carry his bag back home. When he reached the place where the boa lay, she immediately prostrated to thank the Almighty Father for the help he had given her. However, God scolded her for disobeying his order not to harm the rabbit, his servant. The boa explained how she had been provoked. God said he was willing to forgive her this time because she had acted under provocation. Nevertheless, God proclaimed that from then on, the boa herself would die on the same day she attacked and killed any rabbit. God then appointed the squirrel to announce the location of the boa as a warning to other animals that she was nearby. As soon as God departed, a group of squirrels surrounded the boa and began shouting, "Ka re o elewu obobo, wa wo elewu obobo." Since that day, the squirrel has become the most bitter enemy of the boa.